Hello everyone and my grant subscribers. You're welcome to Uaagupdates Grant channel where we give you the latest and updated version of the UAAG disbursement funding. If you're new on my channel, please consider subscribing by clicking the notification bell so that whenever we publish our new content, you'll be kindly notified. Thank you so much for subscribing and God bless.
Straight, let's get to the first question, which is why is Apostle Ambassador Ken Wakama not talking to Nigerians? Why is the AGPGN president, Comrade Abdul, OCG, Pastor B, Comrade Oladele, the key names that we know in grant community, why are they not talking right now? If you bear witness to the last meeting of NGO CEOs with Apostle Ambassador Ken Wakama, he stated boldly that he will not talk until disbursement take place, that the next talk, the next voice note or the next meeting or next address he's going to have in the grant community will be a news or a broadcast of disbursement. If Apostle Ken show up in the stage right now to talk again without being the address, national broadcast of disbursement, the grant ecosystem will still criticize him. The same grant community will say what they want at the moment is disbursement alert, not pacifying talk. So why are people now calling him to give them updates? Because I've heard some audience saying, what if there is no money to disburse? It should come and tell us. And if there is money, it should come and tell us when. The grant community don't want to hear when. They want to hear the national broadcast or the disbursement template from all the big wigs in the grant ecosystem. Why they are not coming to talk is because it is not the hour of disbursement. Immediately everything is set, you will hear this name return again into the media scene to address Nigerians on the disbursement modality. The next time you see Apostle Ken on stage will be the national broadcast for disbursement or the disbursement template. That is why they are not talking right now. The next question is, before addressing the next question, permit me to quickly address the ongoing incessant call of Apostle Ambassador Ken, Pastor B, and other key names in the grant ecosystem, bundle heads and subscribers. The enemy camp presented a number of these sensitive personalities for the masses to call, to seek for disbursement. The masses unknowingly start calling these numbers. Quite dangerous for anyone who call those numbers right now. Note that these people that are sending this number to call are from the same camp that said UAAG have no grant to disburse. They are where UAAG is about disbursing, and they don't know where they will hide their face. The only way to stop the grant to be disbursed is to use bundle heads and beneficiaries to fight the war. And bundle heads and beneficiaries have already ignorantly surrendered themselves to be used as a weapon to fight the motives, to fight the visions of the enemies, which is to stop disbursement. How? They know, the enemies know that if the masses, the bundle heads and beneficiaries bombard Apostle Ken and the Pastor B with calls, there will be chaos in the ecosystem. The chaos will filter out into the villa, and authorities in the villa will now stop disbursement of UAAG grants. Then their intent, their greedy, evil motive is fulfilled. You surrender yourself to be used to shoot yourself on the foot. Masses always need to understand, investigate, research before jumping into issues. Let me tell you, the quiet life you are living like now, the quiet, peaceful life, if you think you are struggling, you don't have food to eat, you don't pay school fee, you have spent so much in the grant community, it is far better you live that life than being in the cell, in the first headquarters to answer questions. We are in Nigeria. This name, Pastor B, Apostle Ken, are national figures right now. If anything happens to them, how will you be in the first headquarters? They will pick the call log of Apostle Ken, his call log, the call log of Pastor Obi, for all the recent calls, all the calls, the phone numbers that comes to him since the day that phone numbers were published in the grant ecosystem. Everyone who called these people number will be tracked and arrested by the force headquarters. That is why I said the life you live right now is far better than seeing yourself at the force headquarters cell, trying to defend why you a key or national figure in the grant ecosystem. Pray nothing happen. Because if anything happens, as long as your phone number call those 2 big weeks throughout that time period, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to dwell much on that. But pray nothing happens. And if you haven't called, thank your God you did not call. Don't even think of calling. We should understand the intent of the enemy. We were here when they circulated VNs that Ken doesn't have grants to disburse. And ask yourself, let me answer the second question, does Ken have grants to disburse? Ask yourself, if Ken doesn't have grants to disburse, how will he appear in a very civilized society in Abuja, in a venue, and set up screening and verification exercise in a very physical environment? And this screening exercise was attended by top government officials, military officers, controller generals, naval personalities, AIGs. These people drove in their car on convoys to appear before the screening panel for screening and verification. You know, before these people appear for this screening exercise, they might have done their investigation on the existence of UAAG grants before appearing for screening. We are in a digital age. People have access to information in a snap of finger. So you don't expect those big names to appear for screening if they haven't first find out that grant is there to disburse. If grant was not there to disburse, Apostle Ken should have been in the DSS net or in EFCC net, just like the other grant handler who did not have grants to disburse. He was arrested before our very eyes. He was there in the EFCC net. Question: if Apostle Ken did not have grants to disburse, he will not walk around in this community, in this ecosystem, without being apprehended by security agencies. And for the fact that Jennifer Isaac comes in yesterday, you saw the video.
The grant will be paid. You see this grant, this January. In fact, I was even saying that if they did not pay the grant ending, that I'm going to talk. But for my investigation, they told me that no need of me saying anything. That before I go talk, the money will touch everybody. And I want to assure you that by the mercy of God, this money will be paid.
Assuring Nigerians that the plan of coming out to the public to talk will not even happen, because finally she is aware that disbursement is taking place. So what else do you need as evidence that UAAG have grants to disburse? As those that attracted these grants to Nigeria assure the masses that they want the grants to be disbursed. These donors assured Nigerians that the grants will be disbursed in the shortest time possible. There is grants to disburse and it should be disbursed quickly. Let me even tell you that a deadline is given for these grants to be disbursed, else the donors will be angry and come in to disburse it by themselves. But it will not even go to that extent. So the third question is, when is this grant going to be disbursed? The answer is simple: January. We are in the last week of January. So the anticipation of it is, it can even happen today, because I'm aware that a few days ago, between Monday and Tuesday, the facilitators of this grant were going around to Villa, to Ministry of Finance, to Accountants General Office to streamline some modalities for disbursement. So if they have been able to fulfill, streamline these modalities, disbursement may even start today as we are talking right now. And if it doesn't happen today, it must be tomorrow, but not exceeding this week, Friday. In every rumor, there is element of truth. From all the occurrences in the grant ecosystem, they are all signaling, pointing at one thing: disbursement is already here at our doorstep. Then to the last question, which is bundle heads and sponsors will be disbursed to first. How can water flow from the downhill to the uphill? UAAG have no business with bundle heads and beneficiaries. Accept this truth. So there's no way the grant will flow from sponsors or bundle heads to the top, the NGO CEOs. No, the reverse is the case. I've seen in one certain WhatsApp or Telegram group where a grant subscriber is now saying that formerly it was stated that the CBN would disburse directly to the NGOs. Why are they changing this? How can the CBN disburse grants directly to the NGO CEOs? Are they commercial banks? Are they deposit money banks? Please note, CBN can't disburse grants directly from their coffers to the NGO CEOs account because firstly, they don't even have the account of the CEOs. It is not in their scope to deal directly with depositors. They deal with government institutions, strictly government institutions, not even non-governmental. So for the purpose of this grant, there is an hierarchical flow of the process. Firstly, since the money is already domiciled in the CBN, after they have concluded all their signatories arrangement, remember a few days ago UAAG were to open an account with 3 signatories which we listed in the last video and present their account number to the CBN for the transfers. Remember, so after the UAAG have fulfilled this requirement on presentation of these account numbers to the CBN, what the CBN do is to effect the transfer of the fund to the designated account number of UAAG in commercial banks. Secondly, the UAAG with the schedule they presented to the commercial banks will effect the transfer to the NGO CEOs account numbers, which is already there waiting, lying in wait in the commercial banks. Then the third step is the NGO CEOs with their existing ledgers or disbursement template take their own list to their own commercial bank and effect the transfer first to bundle heads, followed by the last step, transfer to beneficiaries. Then ends the circle of disbursement. So don't expect bundle heads to receive money from UAAG directly. UAAG is a non-governmental organization dealing only with its partners, not with the members of their partners. It's the responsibility of NGO partners to disburse money to their own members in the NGO. These are the expectations or the hierarchical flow of disbursement in the next few hours from now. My advice right now is not actually the disbursement is coming or not coming. Disbursement is already here. It's the CEOs to set their disbursement list, ensure all the account numbers there are valid and disbursement ready. In conclusion, I've addressed the fact that people should stop calling Apostle Ken number or Pastor Obi's number, because if anything happens, all those numbers will be called for questioning in force headquarters. Live the simple life that you are living right now. We are in Nigeria. This can be very tempting hour for everyone in the grant community. And I would equally advise the UAAG team to be more security conscious right now than ever before. Pray that nothing happened to these people. If anything happens to anyone, the whole process starts from the beginning again. If you have a God that listens to you, pray for the safety of all the facilitators of UAAG grant. I've equally addressed that UAAG have money to disburse to Nigerians. That if there was no money, EFCC should have called Apostle Ken and questioned him, and the whole process should have died a natural death. On why the Apostle Ken, Pastor Obi, OCG are not talking right now. They can't talk until disbursement is set, until the money is transferred from the CBN to the designated UAAG account in commercial. On whether money will be disbursed directly to bundle heads or beneficiaries, money moves from the UAAG to NGO account, then NGO account to bundle heads account before the beneficiaries. Then on when is the disbursement taking place? Yes, disbursement is already staring us at the face. In few hours from now, disbursement will take place. It can even begin as we are talking, but it will not exceed Friday. We trust God that He is going to do this for us and end the long-running disbursement deadlock in Nigeria. We pray God to ensure the safety of the grant handling, life quality of Nigerians will alter forever for good. Those who are sick will have money to treat themselves, and those who barely eat on daily basis will be able to establish a business and expand their living. God will do it for us, for our sake, in these perilous times. The next video will be the disbursement template. I wouldn't have been here if not because of the frequent question. I promise my next coming here will be